It doesn't matter how many times you fail, you only need to be right once. And you only need to have things go your way once for people to suddenly think that you're an overnight sensation. Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining me here today. If you're new, I'm Amanda. Welcome to the channel where we are all about shattering the mental health stigma. If you haven't already, please make sure you make sweet, sweet love to that subscribe button. Give the bell a few kisses so you're not missing any of this content designed to help you with your mental health or help you help someone else. Today I'm going to be reacting to Surface Pressure from Encanto. This was a request from William, my lovely Patreon. Thank you so much for your continued love and support. I wouldn't be able to expand my outreach and help so many people if it wasn't for support from people like you, so I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. We have some huge projects underway, so I'm very excited, very appreciative. I love you so much. Like I said, today we're going to be reacting to Surface Pressure from Encanto. I've never seen this movie, which I know might be a little bit of a shock since y'all know I have an 11-year-old, but he watched this without me, the little punk, so I just haven't got around to making it a priority. So this is my first exposure to this movie. Know nothing about the story, the characters, nothing. So I'm really, truly still going in completely blind.
Why would anything go wrong? I'm totally fine. The magic's fine. Luisa's fine. I'm totally not nervous.
Your eyes doing the thing.
I'm the strong one. I'm not nervous. I'm as tough as the crust of the earth is.
Okay.
I move mountains. I move churches. And I glow because I know what my worth is.
Of course, I mean, hey, where are you going?
I don't ask how hard the work is. Got a rough and destructible surface. Diamonds and platinum. I find them, I flatten them. I take what I'm handed. I break what's demanded. But under the surface, I feel berserk as a tightrope walker in a 3-ring circus. Under the surface, was Hercules ever like, yo, I don't wanna fight Cerberus? Under the surface,
I love that.
I'm pretty sure I'm worthless if I can be of service.
You know, I love that a kid's song is tackling this because it normalizes a very common struggle that our youth faces, and that is feeling like they constantly have to be strong, but they're looking at this through the skewed definition, with strong meaning that you can't ever show emotions, or that you can't ever struggle with anything, that those are signs of weakness. So I understand that there's this completely skewed definition of what being strong is. And there's this pressure for our youth to get straight A's, to be the model child, the pressure to fit in with their peers, and they don't want to be ostracized. Many adults tend to belittle these challenges because we look back and think, well, that's easy. But for them, this is what they're experiencing in the day-to-day life. This is the stresses that they're faced with, that they may or may not have the skills to handle. And their experiences are still every bit as valid as ours are. It's age-appropriate stress, right? And I'm thrilled. I'm really thrilled to see it being talked about in a way that kids can digest it. But comparing herself to the 12th and final labor of Hercules, which was the hardest in fighting Cerberus, that is really telling to me, because it means that she's fought and prevailed up to this point, and is wondering if others who have fought before her ever felt like she does now, had that doubt and that questioning and that drive to find hope and strength when it's starting to waver. I love that. I love that so much. I love Greek mythology.
Or crack the straw in the stack that breaks the camel's back. What breaks the camel's back? It's pressure like a drip, drip, drip that'll never stop. Whoa. Pressure that'll tip, tip, tip till you just go pop. Whoa. Give it to your sister's older. Give her all the heavy things we can't shoulder.
Oh,
who am
she's trying to protect
I can't
her.
run with the ball. If I fall to pressure like a grip, 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 and it won't let go. Whoa. Pressure like a tick, tick, tick till it's ready to blow. Whoa. Give it to your sister stronger. See if she can hang on a little longer. Who am I if I can't carry it all? If I falter under the surface, I had my nerves and it worsens. I worry something is gonna hurt us. Under the surface, the ship doesn't swerve as it hurt how big the iceberg is. Under the surface, I think about my purpose. Can I somehow preserve this? Line up the dominoes, the light wind blows. You
So she's obviously trying to protect her family. She's trying to protect her sister. I don't know the context of this, but that's also a very common thing in youth where they're trying to protect their family or their siblings and they feel that responsibility. But this is a reminder to every person listening to this, your worth is not dependent on your ability, any of your abilities as far as your grades, your abilities as far as whether or not you can protect another person, even if it's a person you love. You are worthy despite any of your abilities or capabilities. Please let that sink in. Nobody can carry it all, even if it may seem like they can on the outside. Every person is having this internal struggle that we know nothing about, and some people can carry themselves with grace while they're falling apart inside. And I think it's very sad that we have cultivated this culture and this society where people feel like they can't just talk about it and express it. But my suggestion, if you are struggling with something like this, is to triage your responsibilities and your engagements. Not everything has to be done right now. Not everything has to be done at all. And it's important to let things go that aren't serving you anymore. If something's not serving you, if it doesn't need to be done, consider letting those things go. Slow down if you need to, because hiding your nerves does, in fact, worsen it every single time. Build a strong support system, be it your family. Reach out to your family, talk to her. She should be talking to her sister so her sister knows that it's okay to express these things. But reach out for help if you need to. Would you rather get to your destination slower, which, by the way, you kind of enjoy the ride more if you do it that way, or plow through an iceberg and possibly sink?
But wait, if I could shake the crushing
like daydreaming.
weight of expectations, would that free some room up for joy or relaxation or simple pleasure? Instead, we
What's with the donkey's eyes? Or donkey corn?
this growing pressure keeps growing, keep going, 'cause all we know is pressure like a drip, drip, drip that'll never stop. Whoa, pressure that'll tip, tip, tip
just
till you
keeps-
just go pop.
It just keeps stacking.
Whoa, give it to your sister, it doesn't hurt, and see if she can handle every family burden. Watch as she buckles and bends, but never breaks. No mistakes, just pressure like a grip, 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 and it won't let go. Whoa. Pressure like a tick, 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 till it's ready to blow. Whoa. Give it to your sister and never wonder if pressure would have pulled you under. Who am I if I don't have what it takes? No cracks, no breaks, no mistakes, no pressure.
I really like the visual, the drip, 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 or the ticking of the bomb, because I often say that we don't get overwhelmed all at once. Even if let's say you're in an abusive relationship, right? It's not like all of a sudden everything's just awful. It just comes as a drip or a TikTok, and you might ignore it and think that it's not a big deal. And then one day you wake up and you realize that you're drowning. So that drip, drip, or that TikTok can't be ignored, because eventually you'll drown, or eventually the bomb will explode. By the end here, it only takes a light wind, as the lyric said, to tumble everything, because repressing leaves you living in a house of cards that are just going to fall at the slightest thing, because you've put so much on your shoulders and you've taken on the responsibility of everyone else. And this also obviously holds true for adults. I just really like that this was portrayed in a way, as I said, easy to digest for children, but obviously this holds true for adults as well, that we feel like we're holding the weight of the world on us to try to be a good parent, to be a good partner, to be a good friend, to be a good worker, whatever the case is. We're constantly trying to take on everyone else's energy, and we're trying to do everything for everyone else, and then we tend to forget things. Who are you if you don't have what it takes? You have what it takes to be you. You have what it takes to be happy, to live your life and not try to meet everyone else's imposed expectations all the time. You do have what it takes, so there is no what if. You do have it. There just might be some voices telling you sometimes that you don't. But I also like I liked it because it's true, but it breaks my heart because it kind of reminds me of my mom. She bends but never breaks. We don't break. We're not dolls. We don't actually break when we falter. But this reminded my mom, who always tried to take on everything for the family and everything for all of her coworkers and every person she ever came in contact with. And then she'd find herself really bending under the weight of all this, but she never broke. And even if you do end up having a complete nervous breakdown, you're not broken. Even though we say, I snapped, I broke, you're not actually broken. You're just needing rest. You're needing to take some time for yourself. And we don't have to look at mistakes as failures. As a matter of fact, we really don't even have to look at things as mistakes. We can look at them as lessons. We can look at them as, well, that's something I don't want to do again. And now I know that. Now I know one more thing about myself. But regardless of whether or not you can live up to something else, regardless of whether or not you can constantly be strong, because spoiler alert, nobody can be like that all the time. You are still worthy of love. You are still a worthy and valuable person. You don't have to accomplish anything for that. You don't have to be a certain way for that. So this was amazing. I kind of miss jamming to some Disney music. I haven't really delved into that world in the last few years. I haven't really watched a lot of the newer Disney or Pixar movies, so this was kind of cool to dive back in like that. And I'm a person that definitely jams to Disney music in my spare time, so I'm glad to have this addition to the channel. Make sure that you're sharing your stories here in the comments, your mental health stories, because that's how we shatter the stigma. And I know every single one of us at some point has felt that pressure. So talk about it here in the comments. It's a great way to allow other people to know that it's okay, it's normal. We can struggle. We don't always have to hold everyone else. And even though we do have responsibilities when we have kids, or maybe we have siblings, or maybe we have friends, yes, we do want to be present for them, but we have to take care of ourselves so that we can show up in a positive way and in an empowering way for those other people, and show them that they should be taking care of themselves too. So that way it's just a cycle of empowerment, right? So once we show that we're taking care of ourselves and that's a priority, we're showing that to our kids so then they can do that. We're showing that to our friends so then they can do that. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself and not just stacking more and more and more rocks. And I guarantee you, yeah, Hercules probably did by the 12th labor think, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. I would be very surprised to find out that Hercules did not feel like that by the time he got to his last and toughest labor, because there was so much before that. We all feel that way. Even heroes feel that way. And you know what? In our own way, we're all kind of heroes. Share this video. You never know who might need to see it. Give it a thumbs up. And I love you guys so, so, so much. Mwah.